Today we are going to see what are variables in Swift. Variables are something which holds a value, or it can also have a reference to an object, or it can also point to a function in Swift. We'll learn about object and functions later. We'll see about how it holds a value in Swift. Right now we have a variable here which says var. Var is the keyword to denote a variable, and str is the name to a variable, and vehicle sign assigns the value hello playground. Right now we will just print this value and see. Okay, let's print this variable and let us see the value is shown. Yes, the value is shown. So let us study about it. Now we'll create a variable name equal to uh, my name. Now this is basically a string or a text value. We give the type string, which is optional. Like if you don't want to give the type string, it is not a big deal. It is just optional for a variable to be given a type. If we give a type, it is called explicit type. It's called explicit typing or explicit type, right? And this is not an explicit type. If you don't have give a string, it is not an explicit type, right? So let me just give name 2. It's an explicit type, right? Now we'll have another variable which is temperature, and let us assume a value 98.4, which is the normal body temperature to it. So we'll talk about only strings and numbers in this video, and later we'll see what are the other data, what are the data types available in Swift, and we'll go in detail in other videos. Now let us stick to strings and numbers, right? Now let us print something like this. Like let us print temperature. We have printed string before. Let us print numbers. How? Let us see how it gets printed. Yes, it is printed. It's not a problem at all. Now we will see how we can print a string along with a variable. For example, I want to say my name is Riaz and my temperature is 98.4. Now how do I put Riaz, or how do I put the variable name inside print statement? It is simple as that. Like you put a backward slash and parentheses and just give your variable inside it, and it prints out. See, right? Sorry, my name is Riaz, right? And let us also include our temperature here. Like my temperature is, sorry, my temperature is uh, temperature, right? So it's simple as that. This is how we print our variables inside a print statement. Now we'll talk about constants. Let us see what is constant. Constants are variable whose value can't change, which is logically my temperature can change, right? So I can change my temperature to 104 degrees Celsius or 102 degrees Celsius when I get a fever, right? So my temperature varies, all body temperature varies. Now my name doesn't vary, right? My name is always Riaz, it doesn't vary. So let us give it as a constant. So constants are denoted by the term let, and it has a name to it, and or it has a name to it, and in this case name is the name of that constant, and let us say full name, right? Let full name equal to Riaz. Yes, its full name is equal to Riaz Mohammed, right? So this is how a constant is declared. Now let us see what happens when we let us see what happens when we change the value of a constant. Let us change my name to uh, Steve Jobs, right? Let us see what happens. Yeah, it is clearly throwing an error which says cannot assign to value full name is a let constant, which means that full name is a constant. You can't assign other values to it. It is already done. So this is not possible at all once it is a constant, right? So we have studied about variables and constants and how to print them. So constant is also the same. Like we just print the same way. Like put a slash inside a bracket, and if you just print it, like just prints out. There is no problem at all. You see here, my name is Riaz Mohammed. My temperature is 104 degrees Celsius. I must be in a very huge fever. Okay, so let me go to the next topic, which is computed property or computed variables. So computed variables or something, or computed properties or something which will be dynamically computed, whose value will be dynamically computed. For example, here the let or okay, here the variable Riaz is not computed; it is declared, like it is assumed, right? It can be changed anywhere in the program, but it is assumed. There is no computation involved. But computed variables facilitate computations, right? So let us see the syntax for computed variables. The first rule for computed variable is it should be a variable. The second thing is it should have an explicit type. You see here I have explained to you before that what is an explicit type. So it should always be an explicit type, right? So if you want to create a computed variable, you should follow. I mean, you should adhere to this two rules. So let us create a computed variable. So computed variable should be a variable. So we are giving the keyword var, and let us create a variable description, right? Create a variable description, which should be of a explicit type, right? So it should be of an explicit type. Let us say it is a string, and we open a bracket and close it, and what should we do is this is the syntax. We should return the string. So we should return a string. Let us say we return this string, right? Let us return this string. Okay, now let us print this out and see. And let us have only one print statement. I'll just comment this statement. Like comment is nothing but what I did here. Like I commented it. This line of statements or this line of codes don't get executed at all. So what we usually do is when we don't want a line of code to be not executed, we just comment it out. Okay, now we have commented it, and well, let us print this description. In this set of code, there is no print statement. There is only one print statement. So we'll see what happens. So the playground is running. Yeah, it gets printed, which is my name is Riaz Mohammed, and my temperature is 104, right? Now we have created a computer property. We have seen the syntax of it, and we did not see what is the use case, like what is the uses of those computer property. Computer property has very good use cases. Let us find out what. Now let me also comment this particular computer property, and let me comment this also, and see where we run into few problems or a few use cases where we need a computer property. Now let me also delete these things. Okay, let me just have my temperature and name alone, so that we'll have a very good clean understanding. Now my name is Riaz Mohammed. So okay, I'll just create a property I'll just create a property, sorry, I'll just create a variable description like what I created before, but this is not a computer property, this is not a computer variable, this is just an variable, just a variable. So I'm just creating this variable description. I'm just assigning this particular string to this variable, right? Though this string is kind of like added to another variable and all that, at the end of the day this is a value. Like when code executes line by line, when it comes here, what happens is description is made equal to my name is, what is full name, Riaz Muhammad, my temperature is whatever be the temperature at that time, because temperature varies because this is a variable. Like anywhere here, if you change the variable value of temperature to be something else, it varies, right? Yes. So now we have only 1 2 3 4 5 lines of code, right? These are all disabled. What we are going to do is, let me delete this temperature is equal to 104. My temperature remains as 98.4 degrees Celsius. Okay, I'll put a Celsius here. Sorry, I'll put a Fahrenheit. 98.4 is a Fahrenheit thing, right? I'll change temperature here. Temperature is equal to 104. Okay, now what I'm doing now is I'm going to print my temperature, print my description, one here and one here. Now you see what I'm trying to do here is I'm creating a description of my body temperature status, and after creating the description, after the report is being created, let us say I'm going to the hospital and report is being created, my temperature changed, right? Now when I see my temperature in the hospital report, this is the last report which I am getting. Now we have two print statements. Let us see what is happening. This is the first print statement which was printed when the temperature is 98.4, and this is the statement which is printed when the temperature is 104. But both the statement which says 98.4 only. This particular change is not taken effect, right? Yeah. So what is happening is the code is working fine. The code is working very fine because once the variable is assigned a value, if you change anything related to that, nothing will change. Like the value is assigned and description holds only value of temperature at this time only. The description holds the value. My name is Riaz Mohammed. My temperature is 98.4 Fahrenheit only at this time. And whatever you change the whenever you change the temperature, or let us say your full name is a variable and you change it, nothing will happen. It will be the same. But my use case is I'm in a hospital, and whenever I get my description, whenever I ask for my description, it should have my current temperature in there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a computer property so that I get my description, or I get my details, or I get my report in a dynamic fashion, right? So let us create a computer property. It is same as what is here, but when we create it again, we'll have a better understanding. uh, Description, let us name it okay, let us name it description, and we will just comment this out. Okay. Description equal to, so it should have the it should follow the two rules, right? It should be a variable, so it's a variable. Should be an explicit type. We'll put an explicit type to it, which is a string, and open and close brackets. Now it should return a value which is here, right? We'll return a value here. Cool. Now we'll do the same thing here. Okay. Now we only have this line of code, like these are all disabled lines which does not get executed. Now my code is like, this is not taken into account, I will not do anything about it. We have only one variable which is temperature, and one constant which is full name, and one computed variable which is description, which returns which returns a value. My name is full name and my temperature is the temperature. Now I am printing the description. Let us see what is happening, right? So the description prints that my name is Riaz Mohammed, my temperature is 98.4 degree Fahrenheit, right? Which is this print statement. And once the temperature change, the next print statement, what the description says is, my name is Riaz Mohammed, my temperature is 104 degree Fahrenheit. So this is dynamic. Whatever is happening here is dynamic. It is happening in the runtime. Like whenever you ask, this line of code gets executed and it brings you the value. So much so that we can even give a lot of codes here, which means that in the space we can have infinite number of lines of codes. For example, assume this case: we are in a hospital and your temperature is monitored in a real time way, like every 5 minutes the temperature is monitored. Now what the doctor felt is the temperature is faulty. So so this temperature is a faulty temperature. So this thermometer is faulty, and it is fault by uh, 0.5 degrees. Okay, so whatever is here is not the real temperature. Your temperature is 0.5 degree below that, right? So let us see. Since it is a faulty temperature, what happens is we'll change temperature to temperature minus 0.5. So what are you doing here is, we are changing the temperature, or we are adjusting the temperature. Let me comment it out. We are correcting the temperature. So what we are doing here is, we are correcting the temperature and we are assuming the value. Now it is the same. We have only two print statements. One has the temperature 98.4. Now the second one has the temperature 104 degrees Celsius. Sorry, 104 degree Fahrenheit. Let us run it and see what is happening. So what happens here is, once this code gets executed, this print statement gets executed, it goes inside this computed variable, execute this line of code and any other lines inside. Like you can have a number of lines inside this area, and it calculates that temperature is equal to 98.4 minus 0.5, which is 97.9. Okay, the temperature is assigned 97.9. And another case is, my temperature has changed to 104. I have a huge fever, and it is also adjusted. Like when the print statement is given here, it looks for the description variable here, which, and it goes inside, uh, does this computation and any other computation which is in here inside, and returns this statement, which is the description, which is here, right? So but when we have something like this, if the property is not like this, like if the variable is not computed, it just prints 98.4 in both print statements, right? So you see, in all the programs, all the apps has some use cases, some kind of a real-time use case, like how I go into a hospital asking for a report, my temperature is monitored every 5 times and all that, right? So this is how every apps and programs work. So these are all pretty useful things, which which we will be following in mobile app development. And also you see here, it's a interesting thing. We have a variable here which is description, and also a variable here which is description. So we have a clear error which says invalid redeclaration of description. So we have redeclared They have already you have a variable description, and now you have redeclared it. So you should not do it. Like, it is throwing an error on our face. So we should not have this code, or this code. Something has to go, right? So practically we have seen, what we have seen here is a variable can be changed. A variable can be changed, like a temperature variable here can be changed to 104 from 198.4. Here also we are changing the variable by computation. Secondly, is constant which can't be changed. When your full name is Riaz Mohammed, and if you want to change the constant to something else, if you want to change my name to something else, it does not work. I can't be someone else, I can only be Riaz Mohammed. So these are all practical use cases I'm explaining to you. Second thing is, what I explained is how the print statement works. Like here, how my print statement works. Like, how can we include a variable inside a print statement, like so, like giving a slash and open bracket and close bracket, and you can have any number of variables inside one print statement, right? And we have seen what is a computed variable or a computer property, where you can do any calculations or any mathematics or any kind of a business logic. Business logic is the correct term we use when we really do the programming. So we can have any number of lines of codes, any business logic inside, and return a value. And whenever this variable accessed, variable if whenever the variable is accessed, like doing a print statement here, all the lines inside this computer property gets executed, and you get fresh value every time, right? Like so. That's it for this video. We'll see next time with another cool video. Thank you.